Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. Today we're going to be doing a budget deck profile for Tachikaze's. If you haven't seen a previous series of videos on Tachikaze, the clan event, do check that out. We have 2 pack openings as well as one complete deck profile on Tachis. Of course, I'm not that or the most experienced with the clan, but I do think that my video can give you a rough idea of how to approach the deck. As well as do check down the comment section down below. We do have a lot of players that do share their thoughts and opinions, and if you do have any thoughts and opinions, do comment down below and just help each other out. Anyways, so I made this video because a lot of players actually are free to play or don't really want to invest in some clans that they're not very interested in, but since they're clan events, everyone can access it. It's just dependent on luck, right? Like if you spend more gems, if you really like the clan, then you have a higher likelihood of completing the set. If you don't, if you're just playing for leisure, like you're not a big fan of Tachis, then what do you do, right? What do? You still want to learn about the clan, you still want to play something different from time to time. Well, this is the video for you, right? Like, because generally speaking, you won't have all the packs in the world, you won't have all the playsets of the triple rares. So this video is a deck on Tachi deck with only double rare or below, and this is really accessible because you get around 26, 27, 30 packs ish from the beginning to the end of the event, and you will have 4 PGs. You will have 4 PGs from missions. If you are missing any double rares or anything, please don't craft them. They're not worth it. Generally speaking, they're not worth it. Just wait for the next time the clan event comes back, and the most important crafting targets are the triple rares most of the time. So yeah, don't waste your crafting material on this deck. If you have any cards that you're missing, do ask down below and I'll help you out as soon as possible. Anyways, so let's begin with the deck profile. Since we don't have access to the Grade 2 Raptor, we're not going to play the Raptor Ride Chain. We're going to play Dragon Egg. Now Dragon Egg's skill is Forerunner, place it when you ride. When this is retired during your turn, you can counterblast 1 and return it to your hand. And this is great because it increases your hand size as well as an additional retire target if you do need to pay that cost. And other cards that do something similar is Skyptero, the same skill. And Blight Tops. Blight Top skill is when this card is retired, you can counterblast 1 and add an Ironclad Shieldin to your hand. Ironclad Shieldin is a grade 0 6k vanilla. So I guess it's a slightly better Dragon Egg, except Dragon Egg can still recycle itself. Blight Tops won't be able to, Shieldon won't be able to recycle itself, but a 6k booster, can be useful sometimes. So you can, so anyways, these 3 cards are generally used to recycle your units, so you can at least retire 1 more time by counterblasting 1. We play 4 PGs that you get for free through missions. We play 4 Raging Dragon Sparksaurus. Sparksaurus is an interesting card. When this card is retired, you can discard a card from your hand to call a copy of itself from your deck. And the reason why we play this is because, well, this is a very budget option of trying to maintain that board and combo off of retire skills. So when you retire a Sparksaurus, you will call a Sparksaurus from your deck with in stand position, and that means that you can then boost or attack with the new Sparksaurus. Additionally, you are filtering your deck through with each Sparksaurus you call out, and so if you have any additional cards that you're not gonna play, like a Dragon Egg, well, you'd rather have a Sparksaurus over a Dragon Egg when you don't have much counterblast anymore, or when you want the 5k booster instead of a 4k booster. So you can discard the Dragon Egg and then call out a Sparksaurus and help thin out the deck and just get a 5k booster instead. Next, we're gonna play 4 Brachios, Brachio Porter. We're gonna play 4 Brachio Carrier, and we're going to play 4 Brachio Castle. Their skill is, they all have the Brachio name. The grade 1 on retire calls the grade 2, the grade 2 calls the grade 3, and the grade 3 calls the grade 1. They're, honestly, in my opinion, they're the better versions of the Sparksaurus and the Skyptero-esque cards. Yes, it costs counterblast. Yes, it calls something from your deck, so you could have no target and you can't proc the skill. But if you can trade the grade 1 into grade 2, it's an intercept. You can trade the grade 2 to a grade 3, 10k can hit numbers, grade 3 turns into a grade 1, well, 6k booster has use, and they work, right, in cycles, so you can trade a grade 1 into grade 2, trade a grade 2 into grade 3, and then trade the grade 3 into grade 1, and so forth and so forth. Of course, you do need the counterblast for it, but this deck is not very counterblast heavy, so you don't really need to worry about that too much. And yeah, this card likes Sporksaurus, but better because it has higher stat line, 6k, 8k, 10k instead of 5k vanilla. And again, this card and Sporksaurus are the only ones that will enable you to superior call during the battle phase. So that's or effectively during the battle phase because you will call something in stand position. So yeah, very important pieces. Next, we're gonna play 4 of the Cannon Gear. Cannon Gear is more valuable in this deck. You can see that I'm not playing this in the proper deck because it's an on-play skill, and because your combo pieces, you're calling them in stand position. Generally, you want to squeeze the value out of them and use their on-retire skills during the battle phase. But Cannon Gear is on place retire 1, and this is still okay because, well, cards like Brachios can still mitigate the cost by replacing that retired unit with another one. Or since we do play Dragon Egg and Skyptero and Blighttops, well, if you retire one, at least you'll Counterblast 1 and get something back out of it, so you're not losing too much. You're essentially just losing Counterblast 1. And then when this card is boosted in the Vanguard Circle, it's +2, so it can still hit numbers if it's in the Vanguard Circle, and I guess that is an extra skill. Can't complain about extra 2k here and there. We talked about the Blighttops, and then we're gonna play the 3 Assault Dragon Circular Spino. Circular Spino is an on-attack retire. When this unit attacks, retire one of your other rearguards. You got +4,000, so it's 8 + 4, so it hits 12k numbers. Again, it hits great numbers. It hits over 11k, it hits 12k, and with a booster, it can hit 18k or 17k. So definitely quite valuable. And again, since we do have some pieces that you would prefer to be retired in battle, well, the Spinal can actually help you generate these combos or resetting your board the way you like it. Next, our main unit is going to be Tyrant Deathrex. This is going to be our boss unit. During your turn, it gets +5, so it can hit over numbers. And when it hits, you get to retire one of your rearguards. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Generally speaking, it's a bad thing. But since we have a lot of units that will recycle themselves or mitigate the cost, cards like Skyptero or Dragon Egg, the cost isn't that bad. And the 5k actually comes in handy from time to time when you do need to hit over numbers. When you ride Tyrant Deathrex, it means that you're definitely going to hit over that 12k, 13k Vanguard. So useful, definitely useful. Next, we're going to play 4 Chaos Dragon Dino Chaos. Dino Chaos is an interesting card that you rarely see come into play. From your hand, if your Vanguard's grade 2, you can retire 2 rearguards to ride this card and draw 1. Apologies. So you get that draw that you would have gotten if you drove check with grade 2, or that additional drive check you would have gotten if you rolled grade 3 first in the TCG. Now this card is more valuable than expected because you're playing a lot of cards that mitigate the cost. Cards like Dragon Egg and Skyptero. So the superior ride can actually generate some pressure and value that the deck really needs mid game. Next, we're going to play 4 Brachio Castle. Brachio Castle, again, is the Brachio chain. And this time we're going to put the draw trigger on it because we're going to take advantage of this. We're going to need the pressure that the grade 3 Brachio Castle brings for us. The 10k on attack, 10k base, for this deck to function properly. And lastly, we're going to play 1 Savage War Chief, 10 + 3. Can't go wrong with that. Helps you hit numbers, especially since we're playing a lot of low base power grade 1 units. Most of them are 5k or 6k. So I guess that's it. Let's go straight into a fight. So yeah, in terms of the clan, I do think that it does need some work. But I think this is a great starting point, for players that, especially free-to-play players, you generally do want to save your materials for better investments, clans or decks that will stay relevant for quite a while. So yeah, I understand that some people would not go for Tachikaze. But anyways, here for the Mulligan grade 1, you are generally comfortable with anything other than PG since most of them are rearguard support. So I'm okay with this, and you do want to keep your Tyrant Deathrex since it is your main grade 3 ride target. And then for grade 2, you can consider riding the cannon gear or blight tops. The others you'd rather keep for grade rearguard support again, you know, with the brachio chain or the sino. And yeah. Alright, let's ride the only grade 1 option. Generally speaking, you're going to be putting the Dragon Egg behind the Vanguard because all your Vanguards are 6k or below when you're grade 1. And so you do really want to remember that you need to hit your opponent's numbers. It's nice that we hit a draw trigger. So yeah, I guess either put your Dragon Egg behind the Vanguard or pray you hit a trigger. You know, both works. As long as you hit the numbers. So yeah, 3 Dragon Cannons. Dragon Cannon's a pretty decent, you know, ride target. Of course, in this case, I might consider riding the Brachio Carrier because I might consider using the Dino Chaos, but that requires me to have another unit to retire, which we don't have right now. Oh, opponent misses the ride phase. Maybe they're pitting us, you know. Budget noob. Here's Bar attacks. Ooh, we do hit the heal trigger. Putting us at 15. Opponents only 13. They do need that one trigger to pass. Fortunately, their 5k booster is not helping them here. Very nice. Look at that. Can't bully us now. Alright, so we do have two retired targets. We can jump into Dino Chaos. Should we do it? I think it's pretty interesting. Let's go for it. But opponent's great stuff. You know, the 11k base is plenty good enough. You know, let's not jump our gun. Still add the egg back to our hand. And since Cannon Gear does get the 2k on boost, it will become a 17k column if you want to keep that egg with them. When place retire, can you place this without, will it retire itself? Okay, so it will retire itself. So don't play the Cannon Gear without an additional rearguard, alright? Cool. It's good to know. Let's put this here. So we're going to play aggressively, since we didn't see a lot of, well, opponent's great stuck, and, well, you know, we're ahead. That's an SPBN! That's spicy. That's a good one. Is your opponent still great stuck? Burning Horde Dragon. Okay. So they had multiple grade 2s. Interesting. Maybe they drew into it and then they damage tech that draw trigger into it. Opponent's choice of not riding the striking is probably a good one because you definitely don't want to be even more behind right now. And you know, hitting that heal trigger will come in really heavy at this point. So yeah. Alright, let's just go for our Vanguard. Tyrant Deathrax. So here I'm pulling on my grade 3s, and one of them will have to be engorged or retired because of my Deathrax on hit skill. But this way we can have 3 attacks through, as well as hit our opponent's numbers. Since we're 15 plus 4, we will hit our opponent even if we do, if our opponent does hit a trigger. And in this case we did, so that's all good. Better than expected. and we put our opponent to 5. Very good. So yeah, one of the good things about Tyrant Death Rex is that it helps you hit that 15k without doing anything, so you can hit your numbers more comfortably. And especially if you're going first, you can bully that grade 2 that your opponent has. So yeah. I do want to keep the Dragon Egg because it is my primary way of mitigating that retire cost. Since we don't have a Skyped hero, or we don't have, the Sparksaurus, this is the only one that we've got so far. And we don't have Kairos for it, which hopefully our opponent will give some to us, because they want to try to win and deal some damage. The end is always as elegant as always. Our opponent doesn't have grade 2, so I guess those were the only 2 grade 2s that they did see, unfortunately. We do check a PG, but we're still comfortable since we are ahead by 3 damage. And our opponent probably has a DN. We did hit a draw trigger though, so that might deter our opponent from using DN. But our opponent doesn't. And we know that because our opponent's thinking bubble didn't happen. Right? So our opponent probably has a lot of PG since they're comfortable enough to not use Conroe to search for that one defensive option that they may have. This is our main phase. Let's see what we can do. We can multi-attack, right? We can set up multi-attacks. If we retire this, we turn into a grade 1. And then if I retire the grade 1, then what happens? If I retire the grade 1, I get grade 2. Okay, so the grade 2 can't hit. Okay. So let's retire this. This way we get to call out the grade 1 out. And then I guess we will call out this one. Honestly, that nothing really matter at this point. We're just hitting numbers. Let's attack. Sure. We're gonna take this one. There's no real reason to retire anything at this point. So here, we're just gonna sit pretty and hit numbers. Put off 3 PGs out of our opponent's hand. Only 1 card left in our opponent's hand, now 2. Depending on how they use their Conroe, we should be able to, guess where they are at with the PG count, or how they feel about the game. Is this the final turn? Can they make this the final turn? So yeah, if they search bar and not play out the other card, then probably they already have that PG, or this is a very final turn setup. But unfortunately, since we are at 3 damage, and 2 intercepts, the chance of that happening is quite low. The opponent does hit the draw trigger. So here they get the flip, but at this point it doesn't really matter. I'm confident enough to say that. Since our opponent only has 1 PG left at most, well, they might have 3 heal triggers, so that could come into play. Yeah, something you can do is this. Oh, it got retired during my turn. Oh, I guess I'll have to recycle it. And that way, you can, I guess -1 to exchange that grade 1 into a grade 2 whenever you want. And that could be good. We're going to attack the 14k first, just in case our opponent doesn't have that PG. then at least 19 plus 5 will still hit over 21 if our opponent has a heal. So yeah, no more PGs. Our opponent's hoping for a heal trigger here. Will it do its job? And that is it. That's game. All right. We have a I don't know. Is this 240? Is this 360? 480? We have an ugly ass picture of Izaki, I think his name is. And yeah, that's basically it. And we got 10 extra points, probably because our opponent's higher ranked than us. Of course, our opponent did get great stuck. So this was not the best, gameplay example for us. But getting great stuck happens, I guess. And one thing that Tachi does well is that it hits the numbers that you want. It has units that recycle themselves, and you can set up the board the way you want it while filtering through your deck. So yeah, I guess that's the main core of the first set of Tachis. If you do enjoy this video, do like the video, subscribe. If you did try out this deck, if you have any budget suggestions that you have, do comment down below. Let me know what you would suggest or recommend instead. I personally think that this deck accomplishes most of the spirit of Tachis to the best of its abilities with that double rare or below restriction. But yeah, I mean, I hope you're all looking for Ancient Dragons. I am too. There is a reason why Terran Legend, the legend himself, is the mascot for the clan. If you do like the budget clan event kind of deck profile, do let me know, and I will try to keep making these, or maybe make some for Grand Blue, Neo Nectarians, and Spike Brothers as well. So I guess that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!